Hey guys, so today's video is my cream contouring routine. I don't cream contour very often, but when I do, this is how I do it. So I don't show you how I do my eye makeup or my brows or my lips or anything. So if you have any questions on that or you want to see a tutorial on this eye look, it's super easy to do. Then just leave it in the comments below and let me know. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get into this video. So if you want to see how I cream contour, just keep watching. Alright, so let's get started. First, I'm going to start off with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I am in love with this primer. It's incredible. I was a little wary of it because I have oily skin, but it's amazing. It just gives me a beautiful glow and doesn't make me oilier throughout the day. It's really nice. I really like it a lot. So first, I start off with my foundation just like I would with any other routine. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in 112 Natural Ivory, and I'm going to blend this in with my Morphe M439 foundation brush. Then I'm just going to dot it all over my face. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start blending it in. Now we're going to move on to the reason why I'm making this video. I'm going to go ahead and dot this in the areas that I want to contour. So I start out with my cheekbones and I find my natural hollow. So I usually, do the fish face and find where my natural hollow is, and then I just put a couple dots like that. And I usually just bring it up a little bit because we want to blend it upwards and not down, so then we have that really high cheekbone structured face kind of look. And then I usually try to match it up pretty evenly on the other side. Alright, my left cheekbone is naturally higher than my right cheekbone, so a lot of times I have to take the contour or my bronzer or whatever a little lower, just to kind of even it out. So that's what I did. I just put a few more dots over here that are a little lower. So this is what it looks like right now. Obviously, it's not blended out. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do a few right here on my forehead. And then 2 on my temples. And then I do draw out my jawline a little bit so it looks a little more structured. And then I am going to do a little bit on my nose. I just need to get a little bit more product here. But I don't do a lot on my nose because I find that it looks a little clownish if I do too much on my nose. So I usually just do a little bit right here on the end. And then just above it, I kind of make it into like a little diamond shape like that. And then I bring it up just the slightest bit. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom of my lip. Now the reason why I put a little bit on the bottom of my lip, oh, my nose looks so weird right now. The reason why I put a little bit on the bottom of my lip is because it creates like a shadow underneath my lip, so it makes my bottom lip look fuller. And, who doesn't want a full lip? Okay, so now I'm going to take the e.l.f. small stipple brush. So this is what it looks like. This is what I use to blend out my cream contour. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Alright, the nose is always really tough. I always end up going in with my lighter concealer that I use to highlight to kind of clean it up because it always looks like my nose always ends up looking orange because I always end up putting too much of the contour colored concealer on it. So you can see it, it looks literally like orange. It looks so bad because I can never get it to blend very well. So I don't know why I even contour my nose. But for the purposes of this video, my nose is all blended out. And now I'm just going to continue to blend. Now I know things kind of look a little funky right now as I'm blending it out, since we just have the contour shade down, but things will start looking better once I put on my highlighting concealer. Sometimes I find that if the concealer sits too long on my face before I blend it, it kind of does this where it doesn't blend very well and you can still see spots. So what I like to do is just take my setting spray and I like to spray my brush and just like wet it down a little bit and then go back in. It just helps revive that concealer so I can blend it out better. There we go. So this side is a little intense, so what I'm going to do is take my foundation brush without any additional product and just kind of go over the areas that are just a little too much for me. So really all over. Again, it just helps to blend everything out and just make things look more seamless. And it also helps make things look a little more natural. So already my nose looks so much better since I went over it with my foundation brush. Just helps blend out those the darker contour color and just make things look more natural. So you can see I've got that natural contour going now. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my highlighting shade, and it is the Naked Skin Urban Decay Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This is just my everyday concealer, but it's what I use as like my highlighting portion when I do my cream contour. And I am in the shade Light Warm. And I'm going to go ahead and just apply this to where I usually do every day. So I start with my under eyes. And then I put some on my chin. And I tend to get a little redness in the corner of my mouth. And right there on my nose. So I like to put a little concealer there just to help with that. And then I do use my concealer as my eyeshadow primer. So I just put a little tiny bit on my lid. I don't need much. And put some on my forehead. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's just going to get blended out again. And then I like to put some here on my jawline in between where we contoured here and on the jaw. Just to help brighten things up because sometimes it can get a little muddy when I blend it all out. And then I'm going to take my Real Techniques, I believe it's called the Miracle Complexion Sponge, and just blend all of this out real quick. And then I don't put any down the bridge of my nose because I find that I always put too much there and then it looks really weird. So I just take what's on my sponge from blending that out and just lightly go down the center of my nose. Just like that. Alright, and then the center of my forehead always gets really light. And so then I just take the brush that I blended out the cream contour with and just kind of blend out the edges so it's not such a drastic color change. This is what it looks like so far. This is all the cream contour. Now I'm going to go ahead and set everything. So I first start off with setting my eyelid and my under eye, and I use my Kat Von D Shade Light Contour Kit to do that. I use these two shades, obviously. I'm literally like struggling to get any more product out of those corners. And I'm going to set my eyelid first. I always start in the inner corner because that's where I crease on my eyelids the most. And then I'm going to start right here in the inner corner of my under eye and really pack in the powder right there and then just start to blend it out. now that my under eye is set, I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face, and I'm going to use my e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD setting powder. This is what it looks like. I've got the pressed version, so it's white in the compact, but it's a translucent powder. So then what I'm going to do is go in with my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Medium Deep Matte Bronzer. This is what it looks like. I've hit pan, and it makes me so sad because it's my favorite, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go in with the Morphe M527 brush. And when I've contoured with the cream before, I lightly bronze just to add a little more color to my face. Right. So there's that. I'm going to finish my face here, and then I'm going to do my brows and my eyes, and we'll be done. So the next thing I do is apply my blush, and lately I've been using the Morphe E4 brush. I got this in the Morphe Me monthly subscription. So now I'm going to go ahead and use the Becca Jaclyn Hill limited edition face palette. I use Pamplemousse first. It's one of the mineral blushes, and then I'm going to overlay it with Rose Spritz over here, which is it's like a blush topper, and it has a little bit of like gold reflex in it, so it just gives me a really beautiful glow. So for this, I literally just have to tap my brush into it like this, and then tap off the excess, and then I turn it so then it's like, you see how it's angled like this? I turn it so then the longest portion is at the bottom of the apple of my cheek, and I start about halfway where my cheekbone is, and blend it backwards, and as the product leaves my brush, I bring it more into the apples of my cheeks. I just don't want to have clown cheeks, so I like to keep it a little further back, but I kind of pounce it into my skin and then drag it a little bit. And I'll go back and just get a little bit more. There we go. So now that I've got Pamplemousse down, I'm going to dip into Rose Spritz, and I literally just tap it and go like this because I don't want a ton on there. I don't want to add too much color. I just want to add that sheen. So I don't know if you can really like see the sheen right in there. And now I'm going to highlight real quick just to show you, and then we'll be done. And then I'm going to dip in, we've got Champagne Pop here and Prosecco Pop here, and I do use both of them. I use the Morphe M510 brush, and first I dip into Champagne Pop, and I don't tap off the excess. I'm a little naughty like that. And I started at the front of my cheeks, so then when I smile you can see it right there, and bring it back on my cheekbones, up onto my temple, and a little bit onto my forehead. Now, I learned this trick from Jaclyn. She was talking about on Snapchat and when they were introducing this palette that she found that when she just highlighted right there, she would get like an awkward streak that would end right here when she was facing forward for pictures or like talking to somebody. And so she said that she started to do it on the apples of her cheeks and then blending it upwards onto the high points of her cheekbone. I'm like, girl, that's genius. So of course I started doing it. And I love the way it looks, even though, you know, it makes my cheeks look kind of shiny and it really accentuates some of the pores that I have right here. I don't mind because, like, hello. Yes. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Oh, and I don't know if you saw, but I take Champagne Pop and go all the way back, and then I dip into Prosecco just the tiniest bit and just put that right on the tops of my cheekbones. And then once I've got the most of it right here, I bring it down onto the apples of my cheeks, just the tiniest bit. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight my nose. And then I dip into Champagne Pop and highlight my lip, my Cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. So now that we're glowing to the gods, literally. Alright, so this is what my face looks like after I've cream contoured, highlighted, blushed, all that jazz. So yeah, like, highlight is intense, but I'm obsessed, like completely obsessed. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows and my eye makeup real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so now I'm done. This is the complete look. I just did my eyes and my lips real quick and my brows and all of that. But yeah, this is the final look. I love cream contouring on occasion. It's not my favorite thing to do just because it's a little more time consuming. I'd rather just put my foundation down, my concealer down, and then bronze my face or contour my face with a powder. And it tends to feel better on my skin just because I am oily. But I love, like, I think it just looks nice, especially the way I blended it out. It just looks very natural. And then, of course, I put all my powders on top. So you really can't tell that I cream contoured, but when I do, that's how I do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.